Friends, today we are going to see about one of the simple program where we can efficiently use two for loops. Here I'm taking two sets. Consider that original original list which has the set of employees, and the comparison list which has the list of employees to be compared against the original list. Okay, these are the two data points I'm using here for our sample program. So here original data is the project class that I'm having certain fields, name, employee ID, rank with get a setter method in order to get and set the corresponding field values. In the same way, comparison data is the class with two fields, name and employee ID. I'm here using get a setter methods to get and set the values. So what we are going to do, this is the data comparison data. We have to compare this against the original data. If the employee ID of comparison data is present in original data, if it's found, if it matches against the original data, we have to get the name from original data. This is some task that we are going to do in this program. Consider these are the two Pojo classes and the sample data I created in the main program. But the huge data point can be from database as well. Here I consider a small program with three set of records to original data and comparison data and comparing these two lists. If you see, original list is one of the array list. What I'm adding here, there are three objects: original data object, OD, OD1 and OD2. These are the three objects. I'm adding it to original list. So after setting certain fields of original data, I'm adding the original data objects to original list. Then next, comparison data. Here also I'm creating three objects after setting the corresponding fields and creating the comparison list. Friends, remember that this is the very basic data. The data can be coming from a database. If you are using PostgreSQL, Spring Data JPA or Hibernate, you're setting your entity classes. Those entity classes will get the data from database. You are going to process um, the fields which are in entity class to retrieve the record according to certain conditions. So here my condition is this comes from consider this comes from one of the database table, and original data is coming from one of the table. But the main condition here is I have to find the name, employee name. If this employee ID, if this data point, comparison data point should match with the original data's original list's employee ID, then I have to find it out. First up, I will see one of the method where I can use two for loops to process the list to get the name. Obviously, two for loops, it will take n into n times of execution, because the original list has n records and the comparison list has n records. Obviously, it will take n into n times of execution. So this enhanced for loop, outer for loop, that's processing original list. This for loop inside loop, it's processing comparison list. What's our main aim? If the employee ID matches in both the lists, then we have to find out the name from the original data. Okay, that's the condition here. But here this is not a normal for loop traditional way. In Java 8 we heard about the anonymous block and lambda expression. So this one, while processing this comparison list loop, I'm using anonymous block and lambda expression to process the comparison list data and check the condition and print this one. So I think if you are using Java 8, you are aware of this anonymous block and lambda expression. Okay, this is one way. But what it will take n into n time of execution. If you run this application, yes, you will get the corresponding employee name. Okay, how we can modify this n into n loop in another way? This is one of the way I thought. That's why I'm presenting it here. Here, what I'm doing, instead of processing two loops, if you see, only one loop is there. This loop process original list. So we have to get the comparison list also. If you put one more for loop inside this, that will become n into n. How can we reduce? I'm using outer for loop, one more for loop, not outer for loop, a separate for loop to process the comparison list and keep it in the map. So comparison list I'm processing. Here also I'm using anonymous block and sorry, here also I'm using lambda expression to put it into hash map. Okay. Comparison map I created. I usually keep employee ID as a key and name as value. So in this map, you will get the employee ID and name. Employee list, comparison list, there are three objects of comparison data: CD, CD1 and CD2. So this is one key value pair, this is another key value pair, and this is another key value pair. So I'm storing all these three data points, data set in the hash map, and this hash map is used here. Whenever I get original data dot get employee ID, where it should match against, it should present in this map. Okay, in this map, if I find this key, get get method, get this key, this is acting as key, original data dot get employee ID. If I find this key, I can get the value this on employee 1. If the value is not equal to null, the value is not equal to null, I can get the value name. If you see the second set, 124 and 125, it will not match. It will not match. Whenever it process this original data, it will take the original data 121, 132, 123 from the list. 121, while this outer loop process 121, it will be present in it will be there in comparison map, so we can get the data. When original list 122 data second record is processed, that will not match against the comparison map, so it will not list the data. Here one loop with n times and the other loop with n times. It's not like n star n, somehow we are reducing the execution. Okay, this one I'm going to execute. Here also I'm getting the same data. So this is one of the simple way that how we can reduce n into n star n execution of the for loop. So thanks friends, thanks for watching.